Welcome to Karmen's Couch, y'all. Come on in. I'm usually going live, so that's what I normally do. What is Karmen's Couch? Well, Karmen's Couch is a conversation with business owners and entrepreneurs about how they achieve success and overcome adversity. Right? So on this conversation, we have the co-founder and CFO of Moors Brewing Company, Mr. Right. Jamhal Johnson. Y'all, welcome Jamhal.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jamhal, for coming. You all, listen, let me tell you all something about Moors Brewing Company. Moors Brewing is a groundbreaking African-American owned craft beer enterprise emerged into the scene in Chicago on Juneteenth, y'all, June 19th, 2021.
Yes.
Wow. That is awesome. Listen, Moors Beer has achieved some early success, aiming to forge an indelible mark on the beer industry. Welcome, Jamhal. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Karmen.
Thank you for coming,
Thank
sir.
you for having me here.
You say you've been busy all day. You've been running around.
All day. It's been a busy day. It's been a media day. Very grateful for that. Appeared on Fox 32 this morning. WGN this afternoon, and now Karmen's Couch. So you're a great company.
Couch. Listen, thank you so much for coming on the couch.
Absolutely.
Thank you for fitting me into your busy schedule.
No doubt. I wouldn't pass it up. So thank you.
That's awesome. Jamhal, share with us the founding story of Moors Brewing.
Sure.
And the inspiration behind getting it started.
Yeah. So how we started, my business partner, Damon Patton, he was living in Miami at the time, and he was a restaurant consultant. And his business was affected by COVID-19. So he opted to drive Uber Eats instead of Uber to make ends meet because he didn't want to be around people either during COVID. Nobody knew the effects of COVID yet. So on one delivery, though, he delivered a lot of beer to this very luxury mansion in Miami. He expected it to be all white people. But when they opened the door, it was all black people.
Wow.
And after that, delivery, he called me and said, "Hey man, we should do a beer company." At the time, I was already in this creative space and inspired. We're both beer lovers, and we had these ideas in the past, right? So it just kind of rekindled those ideas, and I went to work just researching, our way to come into the industry that would really have some impact. We really wanted to take it serious and create something that was not just, something to just be a part of, but something that, meant something to our community in light of the whole George Floyd thing happening, So I thought of our brand approach. I thought we should, celebrate our history and leverage it and create a packaging that instills a sense of pride in our community again in the time when there was so much turmoil.
Yeah.
We thought, leveraging the history of the Moors was something that we could, educate people on, since it wasn't widely known here in, the United States. You see it a lot more in Europe than you do here. But, it was definitely a group of Northern Africans that occupied Europe for over 700 years. They brought tons of math and science and all types of things to society and culture that we still use today. Specifically, though, the science of fermentation and distilling, which we leverage to create our beer. So, we just wanted to be a culture forward brand and give our people something that they could be proud of while, entering the industry that was less than 1% Black. So.
Yeah, 1%. Wow. Yeah. How does it feel to embark upon such a historical opportunity to take advantage of a market share that's less than 1% African American?
No, I mean, it's been awesome, honestly. We knew that it was an opportunity to create or grow the space, I should say. Just based on some of the research I saw, craft beer in general wasn't consumed largely by African Americans, and I felt like that had a great deal to do with the African American participation in the space, right? So we felt that there was a great opportunity, especially if we, strike the right tones and basically represent. We were unapologetically Black in our approach, and we wanted to be cool at the same time, and also elevate beer. Just incorporating, our experiences
Yeah.
and from our past, jobs and stuff, and just putting that all into the mix to create this great brand. And, we've been super lucky and blessed so far. We made, of our first beer, we made a 30 batch barrel. You probably don't know what that means, but that's about 300 cases. We only had one store, which was Kimbark Liquors. Shout out to them. And we sold out in about 5 weeks. I'm sorry, we sold out in about a week, I should say. So that let us know that the people were, definitely receiving our brand and product well. So we just been working really hard since then.
That's powerful. It's powerful. Tell us about your childhood. How did you grow up?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised here in Chicago on the low end. They call it Bronzeville now.
Okay.
Yeah, so born and raised. I'm the oldest of 7. Got 3 brothers, 3 sisters, but went to Dunbar High School. Also went to University of Illinois, where I met my business partners, actually. From there, became like an accountant. I became a tax accountant, worked at some of the big 4 accounting firms, corporate life for quite a bit, all while, doing moonlighting as a marketer. My other partner, Anthony, and I, his name's Sherrod. We call him Anthony. His name's Anthony. We call him Sherrod. We worked on quite a few things in the past. We worked on tours, events, brand activations for other brands, right? So we're just, pooling all of our talents together at this point for our brand, and it's been going extremely well.
I love that. So you were prepared for this.
We're prepared. You just never know what you're going to end up doing, right? So technically speaking, our whole lives have been preparing us for this moment.
Wow.
Even when we met each other, in college, we had no idea we would be in this moment. But even that was the start of our destinies. You know what I mean? So I think, one thing I've learned from this whole thing is, everything is worth it. All the ups, all the downs, because all those things literally are leading you to where you're going to be.
Wow.
So it's all necessary. But it just doesn't make sense until you get there.
It doesn't make sense, does it? And it doesn't feel good all the time. Some of those downs, you never know where they're leading you.
Absolutely.
What are some challenges that you've had to overcome that you feel has prepared you for where you are right now?
Absolutely. Well, challenges that overcome. Well, one of the challenges is, making it out of, Chicago unscathed when, gang-ridden neighborhoods and things like that. Just being able to avoid that and staying focused and driven, and just wanting more, So that's very difficult for our youth and people because you're so surrounded by all the other stuff, right? But outside of that, I've always been very ambitious and very confident in my ability, just never, probably not always active, I guess. I guess once I start to focus on some stuff, there's nothing that we can't achieve. So, but challenges in this business though, there's not many Black people.
Right.
There was some pushback on, us having a Black man on the beer can and us being able to sell our beer north of the river, but I was steadfast in our approach, didn't want to change anything. I just knew that people would connect and relate to what we were trying to do. And we, debunked all those myths. I felt that if Corona, a Mexican beer, or Modelo could sell on 79th and downtown, so could a Black beer, right? So we definitely achieved that. We're now sold in over 500 locations here in Chicago and all the Whole Foods in New York City. So
check you out. Who came up with the logo? That's a strong logo you have there.
I did. You? Yeah, so I'm just gonna be honest, man. Like I was working on the business plan. We had settled on becoming a beer company. I was up late one night writing the business plan, and when you're writing the old name, it just wasn't ringing off when I was writing. So I was like, this is not gonna work, right? So I was like, what? Again, just diving into our experience. Me understanding that having a brand name that's one syllable and easy to say, and how would that represent the the culture. I'm like, Moors, right? So, and then from there, I searched, images of Moorish kings, and this was a guy that I saw. It's basically a 16th century painting by a guy named Hendrik Herschop from Sweden.
Wow.
And this guy is a depiction of the Moorish king Caspar, who allegedly brought Jesus and his family the frankincense and myrrh and gold to the manger, right? So he just looked like a person that we all knew. He looked like Lionel Jefferson off, the Jeffersons or somebody, right? So I'm like, that dude is it. So we just added the chains and the crown and, staying true to our culture, hip hop and things like that. And I just thought it was very cool, and our creative director, Ron Hill, who's also a college buddy. I mean, this was like a Spike Lee movie, We just pulled all of our resources and talents and to create something great. And now we have Moors Brewing Company.
Listen, it's strong. It's definitely a strong image. With less than 1% African American presence in the brewing industry, what gave you and your brother the confidence to say, we can do this? Your business partner, the confidence that we can make this happen.
Well, it's the opportunity. I mean, there was the opportunity. The lack of presence, the lack of representation, and the lack of Black people in the industry is the opportunity. We felt that, just through our research, some of the things that we were hearing in terms of the myths as why African Americans weren't really involved or consuming beer or craft beer. One of the things I heard was it's too expensive. And I'm like, yo, I see
the beer is too expensive.
Well, the craft beer is too expensive for Black people, and I'm thinking to myself,
we like Tito's. What?
I know. I've seen Black people spend $1,000 on one bottle of liquor,
right?
Just because of what the name was. So that was the light bulb moment for me, where I'm like, okay, you guys aren't speaking to African Americans. You guys don't know how to, we are brand loyal. Generally speaking, in the craft beer industry, breweries usually make, 7 beers a month, and there's different cans, different names, but that's why we wanted to be brand forward, Moors Brewing Company. And we don't have all these crazy names to all of our beers and stuff like that because, we wanted to speak to our people. And not only that, from the representation and, packaging, but also from a taste perspective. We know most African Americans don't like bitter beer. We like light, refreshing, flavorful beer. So I would, compare it to gourmet beer, if you will. So we just had a real solid idea backed by a strong brand, and that's what we wanted to create.
So outside of the research that said that African Americans don't consume beer, what else have you noticed just by researching the brewing industry? What else stood out to you?
Well, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Absolutely.
Several of craft brewers, small beer companies grew themselves to be acquired by larger companies for exorbitant amounts of money, and that's one of our goals. Actually, we just wanted to, create something with more substance, in light of, the removal of the scarf from the Aunt Jemima packaging and Uncle Ben's packaging changing, because a lot of the packaging for that dawned African Americans on the packaging were not owned by African Americans, and it also reflected African Americans in the not so positive light. We felt like putting a crown on a Black man's head and giving the slick Rick chains and the ring, and he looks like Lionel Jefferson. We thought that would connect with people, and not only that, just draw them in terms of being interested. And we knew that once they tried the beer, that they would fall in love, So, it's just part of our strategy. We just employed what we like to call a consumer disposition funnel. We just create this funnel, and we start at the top where we like to build awareness, and we drive trial. So we're very aggressive in being out in the streets and being in bars and restaurants and grocery stores that carry our product to get people to try our product. Trial then leads to consideration. So now when they've tried it, they're aware and they try it. when they go to the stores or the bars, they'll consider it to buy it. And after consideration, it becomes part of your repertoire, and then you become loyal, and then you become an evangelist, and you start telling other people about what you experienced, right? So not only that, we like to pair our brand with experiences. We want you to not only experience the beer, but walk away remembering something great and favorable and fun. So we've just employed those strategies to really, get people familiar with our beer and our brand, and it's been going extremely well.
So you launched June 2021.
Yes.
During Juneteenth. What led up, and how long did it take for you all to even release it on that day?
Yeah, so the decision to launch that day was actually made the year prior.
Okay.
Right. In 2020 during COVID. In 2020 during COVID, Juneteenth kind of became like more people started to celebrate it, right? So as we were kind of conducting, building that whole business out, I'm like, okay, let's aim for Juneteenth 2021 to be our launch date. At that time, we did not have a brewing partner. We just had the business idea, right? So it took us about a good 6 months, 7, 8 months to find the perfect brewing partner in 18th Street Brewery out of Hammond, Indiana. And we were able to meet our June 19th launch date, which was, awesome. And just to be honest though, just us being able to meet that, considering all the things that was going on at the time.
Right.
It's really amazing that we were able to meet it. I have to say I felt a sense of achievement, seeing it out and seeing people enjoying it that day, just considering all the challenges we faced getting to that point. So it was great.
Surprisingly, I believe so many businesses were birthed during COVID. That
Absolutely.
was a perfect opportunity to begin to launch during those 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's when, for me, again, I've always been an entrepreneur, but that was the time that we had to actually sit. And, I don't know, I just kind of got in my creative space and was really in my bag, I guess, because, things, I swear, everything that we legitimately mapped out back then as far as this business, it has gone almost exactly the way we mapped it. And I can't say that I've ever experienced that in the many things that I've tried in my life, right? So this has definitely been an awesome experience, and it's definitely built my faith in many respects. It's changed my mindset. I definitely feel like we can achieve anything.
Wow.
I mean, I could not in a million years have thought that I would have a product available in stores.
Yeah.
Just, let alone beer. Right?
Yeah.
So if someone would have told me that years ago, I would have laughed.
Yeah.
But in beer, whatever it is, right? It's not necessarily what you're doing. It's about how you do it. And if you believe in it, if you believe in yourself, and you're committed, I believe we could do anything. So
that's powerful. What challenges have you all had to overcome that has built your faith? Like, faith does not just happen.
Yeah, I mean, most entrepreneurs could probably relate. Just those times when things, aren't going your way. I would say being an entrepreneur sometimes is kind of bipolar, especially for us, for every celebration and up moment, right behind that is a letdown or disappointment. Right. And then right after that is a great moment. And then right after that, it's a down moment. So you just have to learn not to be too high or too low, right? And just balance yourself out, understanding that things are going to happen. And, you just got to always stay the course, be steadfast in your approach and what you're doing, and continue to see it through, and really change your mindset, and just some of the challenges, for example, there'll be one of the biggest challenges for most entrepreneurs is money, when we were getting started, of course, we were raising money and things like that to be able to do the things exactly the way we want, and many times entrepreneurs don't have the resources, therefore they can't execute the way they absolutely want, but yet they still push through. But we were very fortunate, man. And I think from a faith perspective, there's been times when, I wasn't sure how we were going to do certain things. But it never failed. Yeah. Right. We always found a way. And I just believe, I believe in God. I believe God has been really guiding us in this whole journey. And that is evidence to me, because we have not been allowed to fail. And despite all the things.
Yeah. And you say, stay the course.
Absolutely.
So you must have had a vision. You all have a vision for where you want to take this, because sometimes that's the only way we can stay the course if we see something.
Yeah, I mean, our vision is to be the first nationally distributed African American owned beer brand, right? Most of the Black marketed beer was not owned by African Americans. You had the 40-ounce stays and the Slish malt liquor, the Colt 45,
before
the
my
ball,
time,
and all this other stuff. You know, but it was never owned by Black people. So I think we're on our way to being a nationally distributed beer brand and the first African American brand of its kind to achieve that. We think. It would be a great achievement, just not just for beer or just for Black people overall. It's just, and again, encouraging us to, and being examples of us getting into consumer packaged goods and other, career paths that we're not traditionally exposed to. Right. There's a million ways to make $1 million, but we seem to focus on a few. Entertainment, sports, clothing lines and stuff like that. No disrespect to any of it. Right. Because we still need all those things, but just the concentration of us in those areas, I think, we just wanted to highlight and showcase that, we can be business people throughout the world of industry, right? And whether it's beer, syrup, whatever, consumer packaged goods is there for the taking, It's like we don't even try. Things look a little too large for us or too big, right? And I like to. That's what I like to do, just as an individual. I like to remove the bigness of stuff, right? Because sometimes when
you said the bigness,
right? Because sometimes that makes things seem so out of reach that you won't even try to do it. But in reality, if you try, you realize it's not as difficult as you thought it was, right? Not. And
there's not too many people going after those big things.
That's my point. We won't try to have a packaged good in the store for sale. Why not? We don't know where to start, right? But it's like you can start. And it's not that difficult. Everybody knows someone who makes great something. Yeah. Right. And that great something can be packaged. That great something can be packaged and sold, and you can create a legacy for your family to, way after you. It will still be on the shelf. You know? And your, offspring and others will benefit from that, and they have a foundation. Like one of the things that inspired me for that is I would watch old documentaries like The Men Who Built America and all this kind of stuff, right? And it's like, I would look at that, they were all white, of course, but I would just look at that like, wow, man, these people been gone, right? And their family still eating off of that. They still rich. It's generational, right? Man. So I think we just need to really get serious about that and also understand what that looks like. Right. I think oftentimes the information gap and the devaluing of education sometimes, I think that's deliberate to keep us out of certain things. But I definitely want to tell everybody that all that stuff is needed. We need to embrace work. They allow us to fall in love with kind of like the easy way out, the Cliff Notes type of things. And, that's where, we'll find ourselves kind of on the outside, right? Not owning our processes, you know. I think, like, for example, I was talking to a friend, he's trying to put together an event. And one of the talent he wanted to bring, the venue owner didn't agree with that talent's like politics, right? So he had the control to like say yay or nay if he could do this event there or not. And it made me think like, man, after all these years of Black businesses in Chicago and all this kind of stuff, why don't we own our own live music venues and things like that at this point? Right? Why are we taking our ideas, curating our own ideas, and taking them to these other places?
Right.
So they can really make all the money, and we take our little piece like an NBA player or something. Like they're the owners and we're the players, right? And we have to realize that we do have the power to purchase these things and create, again, generational wealth. We just got to think larger.
Right.
That's all.
Right. And I asked God, I'm like, God, why aren't there more, wealthy African Americans, millionaires, multimillionaires? And he said, because they didn't ask me.
That's very true. Again, I think sometimes people feel like things are so out of reach that they won't even try, won't even,
we okay with staying small and playing small, and
because it's safe. It's like I can achieve this. Like I won't ask you for $1 million. I'll ask you for 500. But they'll give you $1 million if you ask. You just gotta ask, And oftentimes, I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and she was kind of upset at one of her good friends because she has money, and my friend has a business that she's trying to get off the ground, and her friend end up, investing with another company, right? Or investing in a different company. And she was offended by that because she's like, my friend she see me working, she see what I'm trying to do. And she didn't even try to, I was like, well, did you ask her? And she's like, well, no.
Wow.
Sometimes I think people feel so entitled and feel like people
entitled.
People see them, but sometimes you literally have to ask for what you want.
Yeah.
Just like God. I mean, God says,
have not because you ask not,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's we are where we are because of who we are,
sometimes
and how we think.
and trust me, like before doing something like this, I don't like asking nobody for nothing. I don't it's just how we're, I guess, raised and reared or whatever. We want to be independent and all that kind of stuff, but we need each other.
Yeah.
We absolutely need each other to do everything. To be honest, especially if we want to be successful.
Right.
Right. You can't do it alone. I don't care who you are.
Right.
Right. So definitely use the people around you. I mean, that's why we are here. Again, man, I just it's so crazy how all the people that I met in the past are now very instrumental in what we're doing now. And it just made me realize that was the whole reason in the first place.
Right.
Right. For us meeting years ago or whenever we met, you just never know where people are going to end up, and how they can assist you in your journey and how your journeys actually intertwine and collide later.
Yeah.
So, it's very, very humbling actually to see it. And it just makes me appreciate everybody more.
Absolutely. You all launching in 2021, how have you had such a massive growth from now to then? Like, what are some strategies that you guys use to help accelerate it as you have?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been super organic. We're very aggressive in the sense of being present. We'd like to be present in all facets of society. We have an alcoholic beverage, so that's available. That can be served at a wedding, a bar, a restaurant, an arena,
just
wherever, right?
Yeah.
So we've been,
wherever they drinking, that's where you are.
Right. So we wanted people to actually get to know who we are and get a chance to taste our product.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's the groundswell, the organic, people reaching out because they heard about it, like to carry the beer. It really just grew from that. So we're very grateful for, the organic nature that people have picked up on our product and our brand. For example, today, we have yet to do any PR technically, and I have to say this because I think people think that, right? They don't understand that it's literally 3, 4, 5 of us doing all of this work behind the scenes, and we don't have any help. Nobody's helping us. There's no grand wizard in the back, pushing buttons.
Yeah.
It is literally us, right? And we have yet to pay for a PR, right?
Okay.
But we've been on TV and print media quite a bit over the last 2.5 years because People were just intrigued by the story, and so we call that earned media, and we're very, very proud of it because it's just a testament to our hard work and how people appreciate the work that we're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So we're very proud of that. But I definitely want to. I've just heard of it. I've heard that the past couple of days. I ran into a young lady. She said, "Oh, you guys have a great PR team." I'm like, "Oh, thank you," because that's just us.
That's me. You're looking at the PR team.
Yeah. So, but again, we could do it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how strong and smart we are. Not us as Moors Brewing Company, but I think African Americans.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can't do. Like we create culture.
Yeah.
We drive culture.
Mm-hmm.
So we should own it. And
we should
put our.
I read or saw somewhere how we have such a swag, right? That other cultures want to adopt our swag.
Yeah.
And what African American experience and swag do you want to leave an impact in the brewing industry?
Yeah, I mean, just art, history, culture, education. Again, it's funny you say what you said because that was literally the backdrop of the idea for me, right? Understanding our indelible imprint in culture and how we drive culture. I literally used hip hop music as the example, right? So hip hop music was created by Black people for Black people, but mostly consumed by whites, and that's because they're just as intrigued with culture. They're, if not more, intrigued with culture as we are. Right? They want to be a part of something cool. So our strategy was to create something cool for us, like rap music, right? And we knew that because African Americans didn't largely consume beer, that our largest customer would be non-Black, right? So again, to attract them as well, we wanted to be a cool brand, and knowing that they want to be a part of something cool all the time, we wanted to achieve being a cool brand. So,
do you think being Black owned sometimes can hinder?
I think
our growth.
Well, I'll say this: it cannot, right? It can in different ways because people have a different understanding of what that means, right? Being a Black-owned business does not mean you're not a business. It doesn't mean social centered business or like a social business, right? Like a community center, right? It is a business, right? At the end of the day, business is business, right? And businesses are judged off of how they perform, and making money and performing well is how you stay in business, right? I think sometimes Black businesses get confused with community organization / business, right? Because most people feel this burden of, representing the culture and doing all that, which is fine, right? But, our white counterparts and others don't have that burden, right? They're not trying to save the world with their business. They're just creating what they're creating and selling it. I think sometimes we need to focus on that, right? Let's remove the, I guess, guilt of having to, do something, and just operate your business and be successful. Like that's what we need to do for ourselves and each other, right? And we need to value business and understand what it is. That's how we survive. That's how we stay around. That's how we continue to create jobs for us and have opportunities for us. We need to understand what business is, after we get over the Black part, right? And I think that only matters most in industries where there aren't many Black people, honestly. I think that's where you can actually say that and where it matters. Whereas, in other industries, not so much, right? So it's great to be Black, but it's greater to perform well, right? And to make money. Let's do what, we came to do.
Right. I mean, I guess it would be so interesting to have a non-Black with that strong logo.
Oh man, you'd be surprised. You know what? So we have currently programming going on with the 50/50 group, which is a restaurant group here in Chicago. They own several properties, Voo Rooftop, Roots Pizza, the Kindling, and a few others. And since we had this activation, Chef Sawyer, who of the Kindling, a white man, showed up on the news with our shirt on. I thought that was a huge achievement outside of us being on the news again, but just seeing the acceptance of others being able to, wear a black man on their shirt. And we sell our shirts and stuff very well too. So to lots of non-whites, non-blacks, I should say. Yeah.
Man, the beer industry, as you know, is $1 billion industry.
Yes.
It is $1 billion industry. I know you've already said it, but what are some other plans and goals that you all have to tap into this billion, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, first we have to expand.
Yeah.
We're off to a great start, being in Chicago and New York, two of the largest markets in America. Being able to succeed in those markets, I think is, proof of concept and that your brand or product would do well all over the United States. So that's our goal. Our goal is to go into the top 10 cities populated by African Americans in the United States, and being a nationally distributed brand. And eventually global, of course. But it's a process. There's a lot of work to be done. And it's nonstop actually. But again, committing yourself to the work and whatever it is that you're achieving, shooting for, striving for, it's all worth it. It's all part of it, So we're looking to grow this thing beyond just Chicago and the United States even.
So let me ask you, when it comes to dating, are you married?
I'm divorced, actually.
Oh, you're divorced. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think in terms of relationships when you're trying to build something? Where do you think, relationships kind of fit in when you're trying to grow
That's a good
brand
question.
the way that
That's a great question. I mean, honestly, I think a relationship will only work if you have an understanding partner, right? Understanding. I mean, I would just say, us being as active as we have been, dating has not been easy. Lots of women.
Lots of women. I heard that part.
Let me retract. Hold on, I don't want to give.
Oh, okay.
No, I should say.
You up with the little bit. No, I'm just playing.
No, I mean, what I was trying to say is I encounter women all the time in this business, and tried to date here and there. But again, you got to have an understanding partner that is, understanding that you're going to be busy, right, and you probably won't be as present. Especially if you're focused. Right. Meaning, just understanding or remembering to plan things and, being thoughtful and things like that. The things you have time for, right? Right. Especially when you're running a business like this where we're always out and about and things like that. And you speaking and talking to people, other women usually too. It gotta be, secure. Right. And trusting. And I think that's very achievable. Things won't always be like this for me. I mean, I'm very busy right now. So I've been really focused on this business, and I've been afraid to kind of incorporate anything that would take my attention away because I just feel like it's gonna, disrupt what we're doing. But outside of that though, very much, I love relationships, marriage is good, even though my first one didn't really work out, but it's definitely a good thing. I think people should be encouraged to, find the person that they connect with and live life because it's definitely great.
Some people would say you shouldn't mix or be in business with your partner.
Interesting. I mean, for me, I've tried that. At the end of the day, your passions gotta align. Right. Don't just have them in the mix because they're your partner. Sometimes they're better as themselves. So for me, I don't necessarily prefer someone doing what I'm doing. That's also like I think a big misconception, a woman that's always busy and out, working and stuff. Hey, that's great. I'm not opposed to that, but if I'm doing that too, like where's the
Right.
disconnect? Where's the wind down?
Right, right.
And who's going to take care of home, right? Or if I'm running the streets, you run the streets.
Oh, so you want to at home?
No,
I heard at home. That's all I heard.
That's what you translating that to mean, but not necessarily at home, but just not doing what I'm doing, right? So there's a little balance there, and we both have the chance to disconnect and focus on each other.
Mm-hmm. Do you take vacation? Do you travel?
I love to travel, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I need a vacation, actually. So.
I'm sure you do. All that running. You won't have one for a couple years now, though.
Yes.
What would you say, even where you are now? I know there's been some challenges, some things you guys have truly had to overcome. Like, take me to a time where did you almost ever say, hey, maybe this is something we shouldn't do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, almost every day.
Every day.
Like this is, I mean, well, it's like that. Like I said, it's bipolar, There's there's times when, days like today when, we're on TV three times in one day, right? It's awesome. We're getting, a lot of calls, a lot of love. And then, tomorrow it's we got to make more beer, or the beer order increase, which is a good problem, but it's like, okay, well, I got to get this money to do it. There's opportunities that kind of arise that you would love to take advantage of, but you can't. People not, some people that you work with that you need to do things, to meet deadlines and things like that. Sometimes that don't happen. Yeah. People make mistakes, but mistakes in business, are critical. I know there's this saying that people, everybody like say, oh, nobody's perfect. Yes, you're very true. Nobody is perfect. But in business, you don't have that luxury, right? You have to be perfect. You have to give yourself enough time to make the mistakes and eventually be perfect, because no one will actually see the mistakes. Okay. So, mistakes cost. Yeah. Mistakes cost money. Just like I'll use a sports analogy, turnovers cost you the game. Right. And some mistakes are more critical. Right. And you just never know what mistake will be as critical to injure the game. Right. So again, just being mindful of that and not, I guess, cavalier in that approach. Like, oh, like I'll mess up, no worries. No, you should worry, because those mistakes have consequences. Like no matter how small they are, actually, because sometimes people kind of, toss away the small mistakes, but if you add them all up, it still add up to a lot, right? And it takes you farther away from what you're trying to do. So again, sometimes most mistakes are avoidable, at least the ones that we make on our own, right? There's things we can't avoid, that we can't control, and that will happen. So we can't worry about that. But stuff we can control, we should absolutely worry about and make sure we do it right and give ourselves the time to do it, because we aren't perfect. Right. But if you give yourself enough time, you can be.
You have different flavors of beer, right?
Yes, we have 5 different beers.
How did you come up with the different flavors?
Well, leveraging past experience. Damon, my partner, he worked in fine dining, hot cuisine, worked at the Alinea Group, which is, these, super fancy restaurants where it takes them 7 hours to make, a sauce, out of duck fat. Oh. It's like this fancy stuff that he be doing. But no, he worked there, and there he learned how to, pair wine with food. So like, hey, if we pair wine with food, how about let's pair beer with food? So we leveraged the experience of our good friend Derek. He's a wine sommelier. He just helped us put together our flavor profiles on how our beer would taste with certain foods. So, our first beer is a session ale. It's a light 5.4 ABV beer. It has notes of green papaya, key lime, and lemongrass.
Oh,
so
fancy.
yeah, it sounds fancy, right? And it tastes very good. It smells very good, and it's one of our top selling beers. It's sold in pretty much every account we have. It's sold in the Four Seasons and about 8 Michelin star restaurants. So, but yeah, so we just had ideas about beer flavors that go with certain dishes and how it would taste to us, right? Again, not being a heavy drinker myself, enjoying light beer. We wanted to kind of be consistent in that regard. Our IPA is a non-traditional one. Most IPAs are very bitter and very hoppy. We took a different approach, right? We're true to style, but we dry hopped it with honey malt to give it some sweetness, and that's been very well received. We have a dark beer, an imperial porter. We make it with some cocoa nibs, some roasted chocolate, some coffee, and some lavender. Right,
nice.
A hint of lavender gives you that scent on the nose. It's very smooth. It's kind of high in ABV, 8.3, but it's not bitter at all. Not boozy. We don't make boozy burpy beer, so we like.
Okay.
Yeah, we make nice. We like nice light beer that goes well with our food. So
I'm not a beer connoisseur. I'm not a beer drinker. I'm more of a wine drinker, but I'll taste it.
I hear that a lot from women. Women are often at our events and stuff, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And we hear that all the time. And then we hear, oh, this is great. I can drink this.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we're very happy to hear people say that when they are in front of us and we get to encounter them, because you get to experience their expression. And when they actually taste the beer. So you got to try it.
I definitely will. What I love about what you shared is the importance, and what I've heard you say is how you have used so much of your background. It sounds like everyone that you're in partnership with took something from their background and was able to bring it to where you are right now.
Yeah, I mean, we approached
powerful.
it kind of like Spike Lee, right?
That's
how
powerful.
Spike Lee used all the same actors in his movies and stuff like that. It's just we have so much talent around us. People are great at what they do, but they typically do it for other people, right? So I'm like, man, how about if we could, create something with that where we can utilize everybody's, core talents to create something great. And I think that's what we did, and it went really well. And again, it's just a testament to the talent that we have around us, and you gotta tap your resources and your network. The people from high school, college, or whatever work. I mean, that's really the reason why you met them. You just don't know that yet.
Yeah.
But we need each other again. I can't stress that enough. I know there's a slight culture here in Chicago where, it's hard sometimes for the African-American business owners and things like that to come together and work together. But, we're here to change that narrative. Yeah. We're here to work with everybody. We're here to grow with everybody, help each other grow, and inspire each other to, think larger and do things that we probably thought we couldn't do.
Yeah.
Right? So we need each other once again.
No doubt in my mind that you will accomplish everything you set out to do.
Oh man, I received that.
It is gonna happen.
I received that. We're working really hard. Like I said, we got a lot more to go. I mean, again, we were grateful for what we've been able to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for us to kind of see what others see. Because we're all in it, and we have our goals in mind, right? So I'm again grateful, but not satisfied.
Yeah.
We still got a ton to do.
Yeah, ton of work to do.
So yeah.
You all have any exciting new beer releases coming out?
Yes, we do. We do.
Okay.
So every year for the past 2 years since we've been open, we typically launch a new beer for our anniversary.
Okay.
So
this June?
So this June,
nice.
We are coming with a new beer. It's going to be a Kolsch style. It's going to be very light and refreshing. We always do like a summer beer.
Okay.
We're also going to celebrate our 30th anniversary. We're going to have our annual Emancipation Ball, which is on Juneteenth, right? June 18th this year, actually. We celebrate our anniversary. We celebrate Black entrepreneurship and freedom, Black excellence, all that. All Black owned bar, beer, wine, and spirits, open bar. We have about 12, 13 Black chefs that curates different styles of food that is available for everyone at the event.
Nice.
We gave away about 7,500 in scholarships last year. It was, we hosted. We had DJ Envy from the Breakfast Club as a DJ last year. So we're gonna do some great things again this year. I would love to tell y'all what we're working on, but I can't yet.
All right, that's all right. I'm excited. I'm going to be there.
But this year's event, you're more than welcome to come.
Yeah,
it's June 18th at Rockwell on the River. So
Rockwell on the River.
Yeah.
We will be there June 18th. You all put that in your calendar, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yes.
I'm good. We're going to tell everybody where to follow you once we end. But yeah, definitely put that in your calendar because I'm excited.
So it's gonna be better this year.
Nice.
Last year was wonderful. Like I said, I couldn't have asked for a better turnout, and again, most of all, us being able to work with other organizations and give young entrepreneurs money for school. Man, I couldn't believe I was actually able to do that one time.
That's awesome. Look at you.
So I'm actually happy about that and look forward to doing more of that. Again, we want to. Because we started a foundation. It's called the Care More Foundation for civic engagement. So we work with lots of other organizations, but we want to expose our kids to, other career paths and things that they aren't necessarily taught in school, or even you look at certain industries, you don't even try to go in it because you don't know much about it. You're just not exposed, right? But all the while, it's something you would actually like and something that you would do well in, actually be great in, Think about like if hockey was actually in the hood, and how we already the best skaters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like we actually had
put that swag on it. That,
hockey rinks in the hood. We dominate
the crazy leg,
Yeah, I mean, we dominate everything that we do, especially if we're exposed to it.
Yep.
So a lot of stuff is kept away from us, so we won't. Right. So we gotta search for those things they try to keep us away from, because that's usually where the goal is.
Yeah. There's so much we can offer, right? There's so much more we can do, and we can surely tap into billions.
Absolutely. I mean, we spend billions every year as a community, so we can definitely tap into it.
But just to be a part of it, just to know that you're in an industry where it's $1 billion industry.
Yeah, we want a piece.
That lets you know, hey, I'm in the door at least.
Yeah, we want a piece. I mean, again, I think too, you got to understand the value of what you own, right? What equity really is. I think sometimes we get so enamored by the big chunk, right? So if someone owns 5% of something, it sounds really, really small, right? But if you think small, then it will be small.
Right.
5% is a lot.
Yeah.
In something that's valuable, and you can create that. Honestly, I mean, we create it every day. We've created it for decades, and pretty much, for lack of a better term, I was going to say something else, but we've given it away, right? So, now it's time to own it, understand what equity is and what business is, and how we, again, need each other. We don't have to, every, election or whatever, they always, talk about, we're going to take away affirmative action, we're going to take away DEI or whatever. Look, these people never liked us. They ain't gonna never like us.
Exactly.
They're not gonna wake up one morning and be like, you know what?
Right.
Let's be fair.
Right.
No, they're not gonna do it. So, I would just say, focus on us. Focus on yourself. Yeah, don't even care about all that stuff. They ain't gonna never like you, bro. So it don't matter. Yeah. Okay, so just keep going.
We have creative power. We have creative power, and we can create the opportunities that we have, that we want.
Yeah, and we can. We have the strength to do that.
Yeah.
But again, we have to believe that. Right. It's really, mindset is so big.
Yeah.
Because if you don't believe it, it ain't gonna happen. If this is too large for you, you ain't gonna try. There's literally people out here looking at somebody, they're driving an Impala, right? But they're looking at the guy with a Benz, like, man, I wish I had a Benz.
Right.
But really, all you had to do was go to the same place and get it because he's paying the same thing as you.
Right.
You just don't know. You just didn't try.
Right.
You know?
Or create a plan.
Yeah.
If you need to fix your credit, whatever it is you need to do to put yourself in a position where you can.
No, you can get what
Buy that
you want.
Right.
Whatever you want.
Whenever.
There ain't even no plan. You can get it.
Oh, period.
I put it like this. There's people outside right now that are drug addicts, alcoholics, with no money. But I guarantee you, they're going to find a way to get high today. And when you got that kind of resourcefulness in you, you can apply that to anything, right? So that lets me know. And when you want something, whatever, no matter what you lacking, you're going to find a way to get it.
Right.
And that's what you need to do in your business, in your life, no matter what.
Right.
You can do anything, legit.
Period. What advice would you give for inspiring brewers who are looking to enter into the industry?
Man, I would say have a good idea, right? Find a way to connect with people outside of the beer, right? Or whatever you're doing, outside of the product, connect with people, right? Because that's where, people are loyal to brands that connect to them, and that's how you sustain. That's how you are around forever, right? So I would say definitely connect to people outside of the product that you're producing.
Right, right.
Make sure it means something. Have a story. Have some sort of, connecting element. Because that's what's going to allow you to transcend the product that you're selling.
And that's why we're not having a podcast on just real estate. Period, right? Because I want to learn from other entrepreneurs and business owners about how they achieve success. Because we never know where the connection will come in. And I just think we're just a brilliant people and we have so much talent.
Absolutely.
So I did not want to make this a conversation just talking about real estate.
No.
That's why,
we're
again, that's why
multifaceted, man. Again, you could talk about real estate and beer.
You're gonna be one of my clients too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
There's
absolutely.
A method to the madness.
Find me a multi-purpose mixed use commercial /
period.
Because I would love to just live upstairs and just roll out of bed and come,
Okay.
and come to work, right?
For you. I can make that happen for you. Absolutely.
But no, again, you can talk about anything. You see it every day. Folks talking about whatever they want to talk about.
Right, but what you said was connect with people outside.
Yeah, outside
of
what you're
industry.
selling. Okay, you selling houses. Okay, here's the house, but what connects to you? Like, okay, you have a family. You have the family of this size, right? So I'm only gonna show you houses that really work for you, not some stuff that's like, oh, this is the dream and this is your reality. You feel me? So I don't know, just being really, deliberate, about everything that we're doing. Sometimes we get so caught up in just doing stuff we just kind of subconsciously do, but you gotta be deliberate if you want a certain outcome.
Awesome. Anything you want us to know and to look forward to, and as we end our conversation?
Yeah. Well, first I want to thank you for having me on your platform. I'm congratulations on
thank you.
Your show, and I think you will do great things.
Thank you.
But no, for us, we're looking forward to a great year. We got a new distributor, national distributor. So we got a lot more customers, which is great.
Awesome.
Again, we were looking to go into a couple new markets this year. So got a few collaborations happening this year with some pretty cool people. So looking forward to that. But we're looking forward to a great year and growing our business beyond measure.
Collaborations.
Yes.
And new distributors and all of that good stuff. You all are going to go beyond what you even can think or imagine.
Oh,
It's going to happen
I received that.
even faster than it already has. So,
I received that. I
yeah,
received that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Jamhal Johnson,
Yes.
for joining us on Karmen's Couch.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It's
My
a very
pleasure.
comfortable couch.
Thank you so much for the conversation, for the inspiration, for reminding us, hey, sometimes this entrepreneurship, it can be bipolar, as you say it.
Yes.
And to stay the course.
Absolutely, because, making it to the other side,
Yes.
think about it, right? Most times when we go through things, right, it seems really, really terrible at the time. Like, think about oh, this job is laying me off. Oh no, what am I gonna do? Blah, blah. But then you get a new job and it's better than what you had. You make more money and all that. So that had to happen.
Yeah, it did.
For you to even be in this position.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you just got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And stay balanced and stay the course.
Yeah. It's interesting you say laid off, because I wouldn't be on Karmen's Couch had I not gotten laid off.
Man.
In corporate America after 10 years. And
you know how that go?
Yeah.
Actually, that's also
it's a blessing.
Inspiration to have our own, right? I was in the profession as a corporate tax accountant, CPA, and all that. Where I was always finding jobs. It was not hard, did well and career wise and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to control my destiny, right? I didn't want to be 50 filling out resumes because every 4 years they're gonna switch it up in here, no matter what, no matter how good or bad you are, right? So that's just the way corporate works, right? So and understanding how they treat people when they get older and stuff like that. They opt for the youngers because they don't have to pay them as much and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to be in that position, so I knew there was a window, right? So you think about this, right? You know how school, for example, like in high school, there's 4 years. And then after that 4 years, you go to college, or you end up in college. And 4 years after that, you end up in grad school or you're working. So it's literally like in life, right? So the work we're doing right now and where we are right now is because of the work we did in the past 4 years. So every 4 or 5 years where you are is because of the work you did before. So think about that. Pretty much like school, if you don't do any work in 5 years, guess where you're gonna be at in 5 years, right? So it's all about developing yourself and moving yourself forward. So again, this could have went either way, right? This could have went bad, and nobody liked the beer, nobody liked the brand, but you just never know. But you can't be afraid to try.
Can't be afraid to try. Can't be afraid to take risks.
You gotta live.
Man, I love it. I love it. Interesting you say the work that we've done 4 years ago, right, is preparing us for where we are right now, or it was for preparation for where we are right now. I was doing a little video at my previous brokerage in the little office with my camera talking about real estate inspection or something, probably around 2016, and to just be here. Yeah,
you really wanted to on your own show back then, but you was taking small bites off of it.
I had no idea that Karmen's Couch would be birthed.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's the beauty of things, right?
Wow.
Like, I think there's so many talented people here, man.
And it's never too late.
Never too late.
It's never too late, right? It's never too late to start, because if we're on this side of the dirt, right? It's
absolutely.
Never too late to start.
Get a chance. And
KFC was what, 70 years old, all them different.
No, most millionaires got their first million over the age of 45. Most people.
Yeah.
Right? There's, very few that get there before that. Because truth of the matter is you just don't know enough yet.
Right.
It's part of the process. It's a reason why people get to this age and then all of a sudden they're, well, I think it's because, you got to learn some things.
Right.
It's part of the process. It's part of embrace the work. We try to do things we try to get out of it.
Right.
We try to take the easy route.
Feeling entitled.
Look, ain't no easy route.
There's no easy route. You have to go through the ups and downs and the turnarounds.
But embrace it because it's part of it and it's going to make you stronger.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
You got to embrace that. It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's like watching it's like a movie. You know how the movie be so good, then it comes to a sad part. You're like, man. But then, like,
I
it
get
gets back
anxiety
happy
watching
again.
movies. I be nervous, like
I know.
I be scared watching movies.
but,
I have anxiety watching movies. I really do. My heart start beating fast and everything. Like I am literally there.
No, I don't. I used to feel like that.
Real.
But you know what I feel in movies or just shows sometimes like the secondhand embarrassment. Like
Right,
if
it
somebody's
is.
embarrassing themselves, I just turn.
I'll be like, right.
I don't want to see it.
I don't want to see that.
Like, I don't
Right.
wanna see it.
Yeah.
But you know, it doesn't matter. But even that, I'm glad we talked about that because, you know, prior to doing this, I was not, you know, I was low key. I don't like attention. I don't like, you know,
I
talking
can't tell.
publicly.
I mean,
and
I'm
all,
saying.
and all that stuff.
Love it.
But no, it's just been forced into it, right? You know, being forced. I still don't like. I don't watch myself. I don't like hearing myself and all that.
Yeah, no.
But again, I knew I couldn't be afraid to do it no more. It was because it was necessary,
Right.
right? And then you know, you just get better at it, and it's like, you know,
Yeah.
you just never know.
Yeah.
Like, I swear, just keep going, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to do nothing. Don't worry about what these folks gonna say.
Yeah.
Cause they gonna talk stuff
Right.
anyway.
Exactly.
So
Regardless.
you know, just let it all out, man. Once in your life and see where it gets you.
Yeah.
You'll
Go
be
full
surprised.
throttle, right? Put
Yeah.
150% in and see
All
where it
of
takes
it.
you.
All of
Absolutely.
it. And don't worry about what they're gonna say, because they ain't doing it.
Right.
So
They just wish they were, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
because that's a big, I think, hindrance for us. People be worried about who looking at them too much. Don't matter. Likes. It ain't about likes. It's about checks.
Period.
You know, yeah.
Period. Checks.
Don't worry about the checks. Don't
Residual
worry about,
income and
you know,
generational wealth.
Like people can't wear. People chase headlines and stuff these days and all that because everybody want to look like they doing so much, and that's cool.
Right.
But it's so much better to actually do it,
Right.
right? And you're not that far away. You know, you just got to focus on the work. You know, don't be the kid doing your homework on the school bus before you get to school. Just you're doing it anyway.
Right.
All right, so you might as well get 100.
Right.
So just take your time,
Period.
do it right.
I love it. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
You're welcome.
I
Thank you for having me.
appreciate it. Thank you. Again, come, y'all tune in. Tune in for the next episode, y'all. We getting better. I told y'all, Karmen's Couch going to the, we taking this thing all the way up, baby. Shannon Sharp.
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay. I'm coming for you. I'm coming.
I should
Awesome.
have
Thank
came
you
on
guys
beefing
so
about comedians. We get some views.
Exactly. Get Cat Williams on the couch.
I know.
You feel me? I love it. Thank you guys so much. I am having such a great time supporting our local Black-owned companies. And man, we have so much talent as you shared. And
no, we
I'm
need
inspired,
people like
man.
you.
Thank you.
Black-owned businesses need platforms
Yeah.
to share their stories. So you're doing a great thing.
Thank you.
And I wish you continued success.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Talk to you guys later on Karmen's Couch.